Today, we are joined by two guests who have thought deeply about the impact of TikTok and other social media platforms on our lives, how those platforms contribute to societal divisions, and how we as Christians are called to engage with it. Claire Morell is a fellow at the Ethics and Public Policy Center, where she directs the Bioethics, Technology, and Human Flourishing program. She's author of The Tech Exit, a practical guide to freeing kids and teens from smartphones. And Fran Maier is a longtime Catholic leader, writer, and editor. He's served the church in many roles, with his work focusing on the intersection of Christian faith, culture, and public life. Fran is currently a senior fellow in Catholic studies at the Ethics and Public Policy Center. Thank you both for being here. We have a lot to discuss. Fran, I'll go to you first. The assassination of Charlie Kirk was shocking. And in the days that followed, what was also a shock were the social media posts mocking or celebrating his death. In fact, a number of businesses and schools have fired employees who shared such posts. How did we get here? That there's celebration of an assassination? What does it reveal about how divided we are right now?
Well, I mean, I think obviously it's a terrible place that we're in, but I'm not surprised by it. I mean, if you read Christopher Lasch from 30 years ago, he was already predicting elements of what we've got now. And I think it's accelerated since the 2000 election, and COVID complicated it. And then the really shocking thing is the way people have, supported Emilio Mangione, who's a murderer. So this was the next logical step. It's appalling, but it shouldn't surprise. I mean, we've been in a situation where people like my wife, who teaches in a Catholic school, has been called a fascist by the political left in this country for the last 6 years. And so why would I be surprised at this latest development? It's the nature of our discourse right now.
Claire, Tyler Robinson is the man accused of Charlie Kirk's murder. As the New York Times put it, Tyler went from scholarship winner to wanted man. Based on initial reporting, it seems he was deeply interested in video games. What else do we know about his online presence, and is there anything you consider especially disturbing?
Yes, I think that we're finding out he was a very avid online gamer. He was also very engrossed in the social media app Discord, which is used by a lot of gamers, and engaged in a lot of communities there. And he was part of some very transgressive sexual communities online. So he was very involved in the trans community, but also a community, to be honest, I had not heard of before, called furry, which is these sexualized anthropomorphic animals. And he was part of that community. In fact, some of the inscriptions on the bullet casings were slogans used from that sexual community online, gaming communities. And I think it's disturbing to see this kind of internet meme culture that has just really pushed teens into dark places online, these communities, and into nihilism and into violence. And so I think it's disturbing to find this out. And it's not unique, unfortunately, to Tyler Robinson, but this is a familiar pattern with a lot of these acts of violence we've seen recently from young people. We find out they had a similar online footprint, deeply involved in just disturbing sexual communities, as well as online games and other social media communities.
Disturbing doesn't even begin to cover that. Oh my goodness. Fran, can you speak about how on social media, we have these social media echo chambers, and they are pitting us against one another? I mean, it does seem we are all living just in different realities depending on what our social media algorithms are feeding us. How do we curb this type of division in the digital age, and is it even possible?
Well, I want to make one observation about what Claire said, which I thought was very wise. But I've been a video gamer for 40 years. The difference between my experience and the experience, for example, of my grandchildren is that I was formed in a print culture, and a print culture teaches you how to think. It makes you, it engages your imagination in an entirely different way from the way young people are experiencing it now. The other thing about the digital environment, and look, we're in a digital environment in this interview, and I work on the computer all day long, is the disembodiment of the conversation. It's very hard for me to hate a person I disagree with if I'm sitting across from him or her and I'm having a conversation, watching the body language, making eye contact, seeing the humanity of that other person. what Claire explained in her comments is just this complete lack of embodiment to the conversation, the digitalization of the whole thing, which dehumanizes it and makes it all the more toxic. So, what to do about it? I mean, one of the things you can do about it is the hardest thing in the world, which is simply to unplug.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody says they'd like to do that, and nobody actually does it. We're all addicted to our technologies.
Mm-hmm.
But unless we do that, it's just going to get worse because we're becoming less and less human, and AI is not going to help us. It's going to complicate that problem.
Yeah, we need to go back to what it is to be human, as you just said. So Claire, what are parents to do? You have literally written the book on this. Do we need to avoid social media altogether for the sake of our soul? I mean, what do parents need to consider as they think about their children and social media?
Yes, I would say get your kids offline. They do not need to be on social media. They do not need to be on smartphones. It's very difficult as a parent to understand what your kids are seeing and doing online, what kinds of apps or communities they could be getting into. The problem is the parents are just, you're never actually in control of your child's online experience. The algorithms are in control. They feed violent sexual content to children. They can drive them into dark rabbit holes of places. And as Fran was just so aptly saying, the problem is also just the inherent design is addictive and immersive, and it draws children in and away from their real life relationships, from embodied relationships that we all really need as humans, especially to keep us from hatred, from violence and extremism. And so I would say this doesn't mean every social media user or video gamer is going to go on to commit a violent act like Tyler Robinson, but we have to recognize the nature of these things is really malformative for all of us. And the best thing we can do for our kids is to exit technology completely. And that's what my book, The Tech Exit, offers to parents, the practical steps for how to do that and help your children pursue real life relationships and real flourishing.
Especially helpful given that we live in a digital age. The how-to is crucial. Fran, many of us saw the video of Charlie Kirk being assassinated against our own will and consent. The graphic video popped up and played on social media sites within the minutes and hours after he was murdered. What does it do to the human person to see video of someone being assassinated? I mean, we are not meant for this.
Yeah, well, obviously it dehumanizes them. I mean, I think we've been desensitized to a certain degree by the violence of our entertainment, but when you're seeing a real person killed, it has an impact that I don't think. I haven't seen it actually. I've refused to see it. I don't want that in my head.
Right.
You know, it's the same impact of watching pornography. I mean, men who watch pornography have that branded into their brain, and you're doing that. You're having a kind of violence pornography branded into the brain of an entire culture when you do something like that. So, I mean, the question is, what kind of humanity does the person have who would take that and post it on the internet? There's some deficiency in a person that it's really quite extraordinary. That's a whole other discussion. I mean, it's an act of violence in itself.
And a reminder that we do have the responsibility to protect our eyes and protect our souls. Claire, we have 1 minute remaining in this conversation. So my last question goes to you. Is there any policy update you can give us when it comes to the government's role or any legislative action when it comes to protecting kids from the harms of social media?
Yeah, I will start with some positive news. As Fran just mentioned, pornography plays a significant role in actually encouraging some of this violence that we're seeing. Pornography is violent. Kids are being exposed young and often. As I mentioned, this shooter was involved in these transgressive sexual communities online. And so 24 states have now passed laws to require age verification for pornography websites. This is a huge support to parents. It means kids can't accidentally click on a link, or that a friend can't pull up a link to one of these sites on a smartphone, because there are collective aspects to these harms that it is difficult for individual parents to counter. And so we do need these good policy solutions to back parents up. So 24 states had passed that. The Supreme Court upheld those laws as constitutional. And building on that, other states are age restricting social media, requiring parental consent for social media. That's a big part of the problem. Parents' authority is undermined right now. Kids can create social social media accounts, no verification, no parental consent required whatsoever. And so we do need these policy solutions that put parents back in the driver's seat and really encourage parents to keep kids off of social media completely until they're adults.
Claire and Fran, we'll have to leave it right there. Thank you both for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.